So a shelter-in-place order was actually issued for the San Francisco Bay Area. And so I'm pretty much trapped inside the house. But thankfully, I was able to make it by a couple of my comic shops to pick up my pull list. And in this video, I'm actually going to show you what I picked up. Stay tuned for the video. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, I am going to show you guys the massive stack of comics that are sitting on the table in front of me. As I mentioned in the intro, the San Francisco Bay Area has been issued a shelter-in-place order, which basically means that you should only be leaving your house in the case of like some really important stuff that you have to do, like food or medicine or stuff like that. But two of my local comic shops were open to me. One of them was open until midnight, the day that the ordinance went into place. One of them was open the day after. We're not going to talk about that, but I was able to make it to both comic shops and picked up a couple of cool things, nice stack of books, and also some supplies. And I've spent my time basically working from home, yes, but I've also been organizing my collection and doing a lot of that stuff that we have to do, rebagging and boarding and putting, books in new bins and alphabetizing things, all of that kind of stuff. So I've been using my time extremely wisely. And to that point, there's a nice stack of books that I am looking forward to reading for however long this shelter-in-place order actually lasts. So the very first book that I picked up has a very bold statement on it. It says, "Speak softly and carry a big gun." This is Cable #1. Cable has had so many different series, at least that's my feeling, over the years. I don't know if any of them have been particularly great, but I read this one. It actually was not bad. It actually had a pretty cool nod in there to the Space Knights, which is like, I guess, ROM territory. So that was a little unexpected. I never really thought that mutants would be connected to ROM, but Jerry Dugan managed to actually make it happen. So this was a pretty interesting read. Featured Cable, a lot of the X-Men, of course. Wolverine was in it, and as I mentioned, there was a cool Space Knight tie-in. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you might want to check this one out. I actually enjoyed it. I think Jerry Dugan does a pretty good job with the books that he's working on. He's doing Cable, and he's also doing Marauders. I think he's a fantastic writer. I'm definitely enjoying his work. So the next one, Amazing Spider-Man #40, and then I also have #41. I actually have this book on 2 pull lists at 2 separate shops, so I have multiple copies of basically each one. Trying to show some love to the comic shops. I think I'm actually going to tweak that at least at one of them and maybe substitute another book. One of the ones that I might actually substitute is this one right here, Morbius. I've been reading this since issue #1, and I am definitely enjoying it. I started with issue 1, kind of piqued my interest. I went back and read some of the older Morbius stuff, and it was not bad. I've never really got into Morbius, but this series is I think a really nice starting point for people that might be curious about that particular character. And speaking of vampires, Philadelphia. This one from Image Comics is a fantastic read. I am enjoying this one. I really am. I think the people over at Image are doing a fantastic job with the books that they're releasing. This one from Philadelphia from Rodney Barnes, I think is a really cool one that I'm enjoying. And this is the Sins of a Father story arc. And that's actually a double entendre there. So I will not give it away, but it's a cool read. This next one is one that I have not read, but I'm a kind of sort of fan of anything related to Spider-Man. Anything Spider-Man or mutants, I can get on board with. So this is Spider-Woman #1. This is a new series. I have not read it. Looking forward to checking it out. I actually used this image in one of my recent videos that you may have already seen, prior to me actually reading the book, but it was such a cool image that I just had to use it when I was talking about Spider-Woman in one of those previous videos. Next up, 2 copies of The Immortal Hulk. I have not read this one. I'm actually probably 3 or 4 issues behind, but I've been reading this one and collecting it from the beginning, and definitely a cool story arc, or title, I should say. Next up, X-Men number 8 from my man Jonathan Hickman, who can do no wrong in my book. This features the return of a space creature. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that I'm talking about The Brood. This is a pretty cool one. I actually enjoyed this title, enjoyed this particular issue as well. If you're a fan of X-Men, this is a cool one to check out. Next up, 2 copies of Venom Island. This is issue number 24. I'm a little behind on Venom, but again, really cool title that I've enjoyed since the early issues. And so I just continue to buy it because I don't think that it's gotten any worse. I don't know if there's anything crazy happening, to be honest with you, but I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely want to have it in the collection. Speaking of things that I enjoy, this one is a little bit of a shocker. This is one that I did not think that I was going to really enjoy, but because of Donny Cates, I decided to give it a try, and I've been pleasantly surprised with just how good it is since issue number 1. And a lot of times, you guys know this, as of late, the issue number 1s aren't that good. They know it. They know you're going to buy it because it's issue 1. This one, this title, issue number 1 all the way through issue number 4 of Thor have been fantastic. Surprise after surprise, twists and turns. I enjoy this. I enjoy this one. I've read this one, thoroughly enjoy it. Highly recommend the Thor series from my man Donny Cates. So recently I did a live stream, and I want to say that it was a subscriber by the name of Adam that asked me a very simple question. He said, Reggie, have you heard of Stealth? And I said, no, I have never heard of Stealth before. He says, you might want to check him out. He's a superhero from Detroit. I immediately wrote it down, and immediately got online to find it, to see what it was all about. Come to find out, there is a superhero from Detroit. And if you guys don't know, I am from Detroit, born and raised on 7 Mile. And so if it's a Detroit thing, I'm going to get it. This is Stealth number 1 from Image Comics. What I found out is that this is not the first appearance of Stealth. He actually appeared several years ago in 2011 in a book that was released, I think, from Top Cow with Mark Silvestri. So this is him being reimagined. This is actually a limited series. I think it's only going to be issues 1 through 6. But I read this one. I really enjoyed it. There was a turn, a twist that I honestly did not expect. And I was very pleased, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else this writer actually does. The writer is also from Michigan. I don't think he's from Detroit, but I think he's from Michigan, which still counts. And what's really cool about this one of the main freeways that we use to traverse Detroit is actually on the cover, and I dig this one. I dig this cover. I dig the writer, and I dig the art on this one. So check this out. If you're a fan of Stealth, or is there such a thing as a fan of Stealth? That's great. If you're a fan of, if you like Image, check this one out. It is not a bad read. Next up is a book from Jonathan Hickman, and I'm on like a Donny Cates, Jonathan Hickman Image kind of thing right now. But this is actually Jonathan Hickman's newest book from Image. He does work, I think, primarily and almost exclusively for Marvel, but he branched out. He released a book of his own on Image, and it's called Decorum. I've read it one time. It's a little different, a little trippy, very much Jonathan Hickman, and I think I need to read it again. I think I needed to read it again to maybe embrace it a little more. He is a writer that throws a lot at you, and with the X-Men, the most recent title that he was working on, it was okay because I'm an X-Men fan and I'm very much steeped in X-Men lore. And so I was able to take all of what he was throwing and be fine with it. With this new book, Decorum, it was a little different because I did not have the background. I did not know the history. And so there was a lot that was thrown out. And it was a lot to take in and process. And so I think I need to read it again to really fully appreciate it. But this is a book, I think I'm going to pick it up. I think I'm going to pick it up. I think I'm going to give it a shot. I have heard rumor that not only did he write the book, but he's also been working on the screenplay. So who knows what may happen with Decorum down the road. So I believe that this is cover A, I think. And then I picked up a couple of the alternative covers as well. Very, very different types of covers. This one is definitely a trippy cover. I don't quite know what to make of this one. The A cover was a little less than perfect, so I decided to pick up the others to kind of offset. But anyway, looking forward to reading that one again because I think that there may be something here. A lot of first appearances in this one, of course, because it's an issue #1. So we'll see where it goes. So there you have it. That's essentially my stack of comics that I was able to pick up as I continue to shelter in place. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, I want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment behind so we can mix it up in the comment section. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects, or you can send me an email to reggie@regiecollects.com. Take care.